Hey guys, Serenity here. Just doing another quick testing video here. Today we're going to test out where the fastest place is, our most efficient place is to mine coal rocks. So we're going to go ahead and start in here or we're going to be going to the coal trucks, but we're going to start our timer at the bank and we'll finish our timer at the bank always. So go ahead and start the timer and we'll see how long it takes us to go and mine up to fill our coal truck completely full and then come back and see what our timer ends up being altogether. Obviously, I'm probably not going to be like 100% efficient. I don't think anybody will be able to be 100% efficient, but we'll just do the best we can. I suppose I should double check, make sure real quick that I don't have coal already in here. Okay, I don't. Um, Looks like we could take off about 6 seconds worth of time right there at the end, just to make sure that it's, realistic. It was about a 3 second walk over and 3 second walk back, so that we're not wasting too much time. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself from here, and we'll speed up the video footage. Alrighty, we are finally getting close to finishing up here. Basically, once we fill our inventory, we'll be done. Because the cart is finally full. I can't remember exactly how many coal it holds, but I guess we'll find out when we get to the bank. Another thing is this whole time I've been making sure to keep my move speed on walk. Um, Again, this is just so we have a baseline reference. If I was to turn on run, I would have to be like making sure I do it every time and perfectly making sure that I never let it run to um, or get up to 100% run energy and not use it. So it's a lot more difficult to make sure you do those things versus if we just make sure that we set our walk speed or our move speed to walk. That way we have consistent results across the table. It's interesting how long it takes to actually mine a full, well, I think it's like 5 inventories roughly or something like that of coal. Like, oh, another thing to note is that these tests are going to be done at combat, or not combat, but mining level 59 and mining level 60. I would have ideally liked to have done them both at 60, but then I would have had to wait until I got to 60 to be able to start the test on this. And likely, even at level 60, by just doing this test and the other locations, it would likely put me past 60 mining anyways. So I think one level is not going to make enough of a difference regardless. Now, we can obviously speed this whole process up, obviously by running, using our energy. So this is just going to give us our baseline. Another thing you can do to speed it up is by having Camelot teleport runes in your inventory and just teleporting back to Camelot versus walking back. That'll save you quite a bit of time, but again, we're already sitting at a little over 25 and a half minutes already just for this first load. So, I mean, out of 25 minutes, you're only saving. It's still going to be a couple minutes savings. Even if you run this whole distance, it's probably over a minute long run. So, but we will check how much coal we have in the bank first. I think we had like two in there, if I remember right. 'Cause I believe we used pretty much all of it up to make steel bars the last time we did that. So, oh, also we got to take like roughly 10 seconds off our overall time due to um mistakenly going on the wrong side of the whatever you call this ditch or whatever on the way there, and then also checking the cart as we went past. So we'll take off like roughly 10 seconds off the overall time, just so that it's more consistent. Okay, so for coal we had three in here. Alright, looks like this is the last inventory from the coal trucks. Alright, so 33 minutes and we'll say 16 seconds roughly. Yeah, so I did have the actual math as to how I figured this out, but you'll just have to trust me that basically it comes out to um, 262 coal per hour. I, s- I was this was early in the morning, so I started messing around with the calculator, and I wasn't um, coming up with the right answer. So then I took a break and I came back, and yeah, ends up being 262 coal per hour at the coal trucks. Alrighty, and now we are at the Grand Tree, and we got our walk set, and we're gonna go ahead and start the timer and see what our time ends up being for a load of coal at the Grand Tree mine. I have a feeling that it's gonna be on par or maybe even a little bit better than the coal trucks, but I could be completely wrong. Again, same test, we're making sure we walk. That way we um, are always going to be getting the base level of speed. Um, your rates should obviously be higher than that, in which I get in this video because I will be walking the whole entire time. And the only reason for that is so that we have a base level to go off of, and basically your rates will vary based on your agility level. So I don't know how we count the sapphire. If we count that as a coal, probably not. So I guess we'll only get 27 coal this trip. That is if there is enough coal even here to sustain, which will be interesting because I assumed that there would have been enough coal to sustain, but we'll see, I guess. Oh, I guess we got a ruby, so I guess it's going to be only 26 coal we're going to get this trip. Seem to be really struggling with this rock for some reason. Okay, there we go. Oh, and that's the one that got me to 60 mining. Very nice. So now after this, I can go to Falador and test the mine there as well. Now, this may not, even if this isn't the ideal cave for doing coal, it may be one of the better caves overall if there's no competition for doing um, Addy and or Myth for superheating. Um, Previously when I was here doing superheat myth, and I haven't tested out the mining guild obviously because I just got 60, so now I can go and check out the mining guild. But previously when I was superheating here, I would start by there's two myth rocks on the west side of this cave. So I'd enter in and I'd go to the west. I'd hit those two myth rocks. There's no coal over there though. So I'd hit those two myth rocks, come over here, hit these two myth rocks so that I'm getting the spawn timers, um, restarted right away in the beginning, and then hitting all the coal. And basically, the timing works out that by the time you get enough coal to make those myth bars, the myth ore respawns. So the timing works out pretty nice for the myth. And I'm sure it'd be the same for the Addy. Well, Addy might be a little bit on the shy side because there's only 3 Addy rocks versus there'd be 4 myth rocks. But you could always just do like 3 Addy and 1 myth even, or even do some gold even in between there. We're also going to be doing a test for iron ore in different locations as well. Um, so I want to test that as well in the Grand Tree here because this is a very close mine to a bank. Although now might be a little bit closer nowadays. But again, it's all going to come down to just testing it out. Okay, so it looks like we're actually only going to get 25 coal this trip because of the sapphires. I could drop them and fill it with coal, but the likelihood is it's not realistic. Um, it's not realistic as to what you would do if you came here. Like if you were in this situation and you had this in your inventory, nine out of 10 people would probably keep both the sapphires and the ruby over the coal because they're harder to get and it's free crafting experience. So it makes sense to not drop them and just count this as 25 coal instead of 28. As soon as the bank interface opens, we'll call that. I should have right clicked, but 6:36 was our time for 25 coal. So if we break that down again, we pull out our calculator and we do 6 times 60 plus 36. That gives us 396 seconds. And seconds divided by the number of coal, so that'd be 25. So divided by 25. And that gives us an average time of 15.84 seconds per coal. Which I believe is worse than the other one. So let's see here, 3,600. That's the number of seconds in an hour divided by the number of seconds per coal, 15.84. And that gives us 227 coal per hour. So yes, we have less coal per hour on the um, Grand Tree versus the coal trucks. Alrighty, so this is actually my first time coming down here into the mining guild. I did just get level 60 mining. Um, and I'm kind of just checking it out to see what it's about. So it looks like we got, what is that, 5 myth rocks and then the rest coal. Okay, and then there's the door over to the other mine or the main mine. Okay, that's interesting. So I did not know that there was not a bank here. Um, I've just been so used to playing in OSRS that I assumed that there was a bank. So now knowing that there's not a bank, I know that I got to start my timer for doing the coal over here. I also didn't know that there's not iron in the mining guild, or at least I didn't see any. I guess we can check when we go back down again, but we're going to start out by making sure our walk is on. So we always have a base start, and we'll go ahead and start our timer. But yeah, I didn't know that there was no iron actually in the mining guild. I always assumed that there was iron there, but I guess there's not. It's just, from what I see anyways, it looks like it's just all coal and myth, which was very interesting because, like, I always thought there was at least Addy in there, but apparently there's no Addy in there. So, um, I would say that if you're superheating myth, this is definitely going to be better than the Grand Tree, um, as long as there's no competition here, right? As soon as you have competition here, it is no longer going to be better than the Grand Tree. Um, mining spot, just because um, you need all 5 of those myth rocks. If you don't hit all 5 of those myth rocks, if you're in competition on any one of them, you'll end up being inefficient, as in you'll have too much coal and not enough myth to be able to um, superheat. You'll be kind of waiting around if you don't get all 5 of those myth rocks. Yeah, I don't see any iron ore in here. Interesting. So yeah, the quote unquote mining guild was pretty much just coal and myth back in the day, back in 2004, which I had no idea because it's been so long since I've been in here. Um, I remember when way back in the day, back in Classic, when I had gotten to 60 mining, like that was a huge achievement for me. But yeah, there's no way I could have remembered what all was in this guild. That's for sure. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get us a full inventory of coal and get it to the bank and see what we are sitting at for a time. But it seems like it's going to be more efficient here just because the distance to the bank seems like it might be just slightly shorter. And with all the coal being like relatively close to one another too. But see, yeah, you have somebody who hopped into this world and he's hopping on the myth right away. So like I think it was, as long as there's not somebody mining the myth, if you're superheating mithril bars, you'd be fine. But more than likely, you're going to end up where there's people hopping into your world. So I think it's just going to come down to a competition thing. If there is less people here, then if there's nobody here, obviously this is going to be your number one spot to superheat mithril bars. As soon as there's another person here, it no longer becomes the best place. But that'd be the same for the Grand Tree as well. If nobody's there, it's the second best if nobody's there. But as soon as one other person's there, now it is no longer the best, or no longer the second best. So like I think with when it comes to superheating mithril, I don't know if I'm gonna do a video on superheating mithril as to like which spots are the best, because I think that we all pretty much know that the mining guild is the best. Um, if you if you don't think that the mining guild is the best, and you guys make comments below and you want me to check out other areas, yeah, I can make some videos on some of the other areas too. But I'd have to, people would have to want to know that information before I put some time into something that people don't want to know anyways. So, okay, we're almost done here. Okay, so if I'm looking at my notes here, so the Grand Tree coal was 620 or 636. So yeah, this it looks like this is gonna beat that, but will it beat the coal trucks? I'm not sure if it will or not. I guess we'll have to see here. All right, so it's 4:54 was our time, and that was for 28 coal. Let's do the math really quick here. Pull up the calculator, and we've got 4 minutes. So 4 times 60 seconds plus the remaining 54 seconds gives us 294 seconds. Divided by 28 coal gives us 10.5 seconds per coal. And if we do 3,600 seconds, which is 1 hour, divided by 10.5 seconds, that gives us a whopping 342 coal per hour, which is it's actually the highest coal rate by far. I hope I just didn't get lucky on this one inventory, but it does seem like it is a shorter route to the bank. And the biggest thing is the coal rocks are all like clumped up pretty close to each other. So if we go based off of just these three locations so far, which would be the coal trucks, the Grand Tree coal mine, um, and the mining guild, this one is by far the best at 342 coal per hour. We're gonna go ahead and check, see if there's any other ones like that I can think of off the top of my head. Any other locations that we should check for mining coal that would be closer to a bank. Really quickly, just wanted to go over this. So I came to check out Yanil mine, or the one that's closest to Yanil. And I thought there was used to be coal here, but apparently there's no coal here. It's just looks like tin, copper, clay, just a couple of myth rocks, and then some iron ore that goes around the outside. And none of the iron ores, like there's no three spot that you can get to without moving. Um, so yeah, there's that, and then there's the fact that like there's none of them that no like multiples that are close together. So there's three here, gap, three there, gap, one over there, gap, one over there. So this is definitely not going to really be a mine to really use for anything. But just thought I'd kind of take a look at it and see if it would be usable at all. There's one other one I want to take a look at, and that would be like northeast of Ardone, I believe. We'll go take a look at that one and see what we think about that one. Okay, so my quick 2 cents on the northeast Ardone mine. There is enough coal rocks here, I think, to support mining just coal here. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 coal rocks. And then 1, 2, is it just, no, there's a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 iron ore on that side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 iron ore on this side. This I think would be a great. So it's not going to just based off of like distance. It's definitely not going to be any faster than the mining guild for mining coal. As far as iron goes, um, there is a potential that this one might be better, and I think the only way that it would be better would be how far away is the Legends Guild from here? Even that's a bit of a it's a bit of a hike. I don't think that the Legends Guild would even be like if you used a bank on the upstairs of the Legends Guild. I still don't think that you would get your iron mined as fast. Um, we will we'll test the iron though for sure. What I do think that this mine specifically it would be really good for would be if you wanted to spend the money superheating steel bars. This would definitely be a good mine to do it. You're likely not going to make money doing it, but um, because you'll be using a nature rune, obviously, and steel bars. Actually, steel bars have gone up in price now. What is a steel bar going for? Before I make any assumptions here, maybe I better double check because steel bars have gone up quite a bit. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. You guys can superheat for steel bars now and be profitable. This is crazy. Steel bars are going for on the sell side we have offers for like the lowest offer is 900. And then on the buy side, the highest offer is 800. So let's say an average of even just 800. It does make sense to still go ahead and um, use nature runes that are going to be, I think they're at 300 each right now, roughly 280 to 300 each. But yeah, it would make sense to go ahead and superheat now and be more efficient with your time. And that way you can get a full inventory of steel bars basically doing superheating here. I might actually try that out for a bit and see, like just like what the profit is per hour. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, this one's not gonna. I mean, Um, I guess we could do a test. I'm not even gonna test it. I just know for a fact that the distance from here to the bank is much further than the the guild, as far as coal mining goes, and as for iron mining, um, I would say that the issue is you'd have to be going back and forth between these two piles here, and then over here, I guess you could iron mine fairly efficiently. So we'll do one test on this to see if this is faster than the Grand Tree mine. Um, but yeah, otherwise this mine is not the best mine. We'll run back to the bank and we'll start our timer, and then we'll go do a loop of iron ore. But it does feel like a long ways to the bank here. It may be a bit shorter to go to the Legends Guild bank, but I mean, I want this to be a realistic thing. Majority of the people probably don't have Legends Quest completed, or won't even have it done for the next month or two, maybe even. So I want it to be realistic. So we'll go ahead and reset the timer. Clear that out. Close that. Make sure we turn our walk back on. Start up the timer, and we'll walk over to that mine. We'll do an inventory of iron and see how good that spot is for iron. But I have a feeling it's going to be slower than the Grand Tree. But who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong. Trying to think of what other places would be good for iron. I mean, I think I will go ahead and test the southeast Varrock mine as well for iron. Just because I feel like there might be some value there. Um, the southwest one, there's not enough iron rocks there. I think if there even is any, I don't even know if there might only be like one or two if there is. The southeast, there's like four of them, I think. So, but again, remember when I was mining in the Grand Tree, it was five rocks, I believe, that I was mining between to stay busy the whole time. So, but we'll test this out and see how this does. So yeah, you need five iron rocks close enough to each other in proximity, and that's basically your most efficient method for mining iron. Now, if there's any mines that I'm missing, feel free to let me know in the comments below when you're watching, and I'll try to get out any other information that's pertinent. I may not make a video on a very specific mine, but I might just write it in the comments below and tag it. That way people know. What was our time for Grand Tree Iron? Grand Tree Iron was 3:23. Oh, it's actually going to be comparable. We'll see once we get into the bank, though. That's going to be the thing. It's going to be very comparable in time. Ooh, it's going to be close. It's it's right on. 3:23 was the same amount of time it took for the Grand Tree. So Northeast Arty is the exact same, 3 minutes 23 seconds for 28, which comes out to 496 iron per hour. Um, trying to think. Oh, that's right. We were gonna do one more test, and that was gonna be the southeast Varrock location. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start our timer, and we'll start walking. I guess we'll see how efficient this is. Oh, and we only have four iron ores, so I think we'll be waiting for them to spawn. I think. I guess not. Oh, but it's very inefficient, your routing to get from one to the next. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but because of where that one's located, you have to be on the back side of those to get to it. So you have to it's like going around constantly versus if we could have just tucked in. But we'll see. I just got a feeling just because there's only four of them and we're being very efficient for mining them, I feel like it's going to slow us down too much. I would say that this is probably a decent spot for like maybe lower level accounts. Maybe when you're first getting like 15 or 20 mining or whatever, this might be a decent spot to be at. Because probably simply because the other spots are going to be more competitive to be in, the better locations. But other than that, there's really no reason to use this mine. I feel like. Okay, we got the full inventory, but we have to be back at the bank in less than like 30 seconds, which it's not going to happen. Pretty sure it's like at least 50 seconds from the mine to there, if not closer to a minute. Now remember, all these numbers again are based off of walking, solely because of the fact that everybody has different agility levels. I don't want to be using my run and telling you numbers that you're not even going to come close to because your agility level is different than mine. And this just gives us a base level of here's how much it is, and it's consistent across all the different locations. Then there's no guessing. Okay, it actually surprised me. It's slightly closer than I would have thought, but it's definitely worse. So it's 3 minutes and 36 seconds versus the other two mines were 3 minutes and 23 seconds for per inventory. Um, which comes out to, let's do the math real quick here on the calculator. So we got 3 times 60 plus 36 divided by 28. Maybe I'm just not realizing, but 3600 divided by 7.7. Okay, no, that's right. Yeah, okay, so that's 467 iron ores per hour at the southeast Varrock mine. And we kind of predicted that just because of the fact that you're being a little more inefficient with only having 4 rocks versus 5 rocks to work with. So we kind of figured that this is going to be the case. So yeah, I would say as far as mining iron, you could do either the northeast of Artie mine or the Grand Tree mine, and those are both going to get you the max amount of iron per hour. Base level being 496 per hour. These are obviously all based off of you having roughly 60 mining. If you have lower than that, you're obviously going to, your numbers will be less. If you have higher than that, your numbers would be more theoretically. Um, but yeah, so hopefully you guys liked the numbers and have if you have any numbers that you're looking at or would like to have looked at, feel free to throw it in the comments below. As far as like um, just any activity that you're doing in the game that you feel like if there maybe might be a better or more efficient route to do, let me know and I'll test it out for you and let you know. Make a video on it. Please consider subscribing if you like the content. Thanks.